From the fast action of the trading pit to the power brokers making the headlines, you'll hear it all on the Traders Network Show with your host, Michael Yorba. All right. Michael interviews the front page titans about the latest in trading tools and market trends in stocks, commodities, bonds, forex, and derivatives. The Traders Network helps you stay ahead of the curve and delivers tomorrow's trade today. Now, here's your host, Michael Yorba.
Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. We are broadcasting to you live from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM iHeart Radio studios and worldwide through yorbamedia.com. All right, thanks for joining us today. My first guest is Stephen Squires, CEO, founder, and board chairman of Quantum Materials Corporation, QMCDOTS.com. Symbol on this company, QTMM. You're going to want to take a look at this thing. It's already popped. Oh, at least, let's see here, what 200% in the last couple of weeks, Stephen?
Yes, we've been real fortunate, and I think our story is starting to resonate with investors.
You got one heck of a company. I was all over your website here, and before we get into your products, which I really want you to roll out, they're amazing. Let me slow down, back up a little bit, if you could. Introduce yourself to our audience. Give us an idea of your background, how you've managed to amass just an amazing 22nd century portfolio of technology and products.
Yeah, well, my background is advanced materials, primarily in the aerospace area, and I've always had a passion for this type of technology. So we've, over the past 7 years, have really put a great deal of focus into the quantum dots and nanoparticle area of technology. And I think the thing that differentiates us from some of our competitors is we've really focused on being able to take those technologies from, a novelty to a commodity.
Tell everybody what quantum dots are, and well, let me slow down. Just take it step by step, because this is really around the curve for most people.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to grasp because, we're talking about materials that we're getting benefit from at the quantum mechanics level. So we're really harnessing quantum physics here. So quantum dots are atomic crystals. They're extremely small, so we can make them as small as a single atom. So typically the ones we make are somewhere between 2 and 40 nanometers. So, it's still kind of hard to wrap your mind around that. So that's kind of the size of what a typical virus would be.
Right. Okay. Nanoparticles, that they go into everything. You've got an array: solar cells, nanobio display, QD-LED, solid-state lighting, batteries and energy storage. Quantum dot links and quantum computing. You also do You just picked up a 3D printing company, if I got that right?
Yeah, we picked up a technology from Virginia Tech that actually embodies the quantum dots into a 3D printing process that makes a non-clonable security mark, which is, we're pretty excited about the potential for that. It opens up a whole new industry for us.
It does. All right. Let's slow down a little bit and see what we can do about walking through the product mix that you have for your company. I want to get into the advanced material technology development, but give our audience and the investors out there in the audience an idea to see what this portfolio looks like. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, well, I'd like to start by saying, it's taken us 7 years, but we've really built a really strong patent position with all of our technology. What really, where we think our strengths are is in the fact that we can produce these in high volume at low cost with a really continuous process it's really robust, so we can maintain real high quality materials. But as far as applications go, our entry into the market is going to be using quantum dots in displays and lighting. Mm-hmm. And where they really shine in those areas is that they provide really deep, pure colors, and they do it with using less energy. So, in large displays, you're going to get a much higher quality of color. You get more contrast, and in handheld displays, you get those benefits plus the added benefit of consuming less energy.
What industry sectors really pick up on this technology?
I think the first movers in this area are, clearly consumer electronics applications. They're embracing this technology the fastest.
Okay, would that go for? I mean, I'm just off the wall here, but would that go for taking the way people look at their tablets, their phones, their computers, their televisions into a whole new level?
It really does, and I've had the benefit of seeing some of the quantum dots in displays in some of the really early introductions of this technology, and it's quite remarkable how much clearer, how much crisper the colors are, and really the contrast is so much better. It's really the first step, because there's other ways to integrate these materials into displays. It's going to take that to another level yet.
So military, medical, gaming, all of those, I would imagine, are just going to be all over this.
Yes, and we're also seeing quite a bit of opportunity in the biological. We call it the nanobio area, where these materials are being used primarily as markers right now for cells. But I think there's a great opportunity longer term for the quantum dots to be used as drug delivery at the cellular level, which, as you can imagine, for cancer work, that would be quite phenomenal to be able to use drug delivery at the cellular level rather than using chemotherapy that affects the entire body.
Right. Yeah, anything to get rid of chemotherapy, that stuff is just horrible. You mentioned earlier in the interview about being able to bring to market cost effectiveness here, and we haven't even touched on the solar energy solution. Can we drill down into that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things particularly with solar that makes quantum dots so interesting is there's a theoretical potential for conversion efficiency, and the maximum for all materials right now, other than quantum dots, is about 34%. So what's interesting about quantum dots in this space is the theoretical potential is 66%. So there's a lot more room for growth in the conversion efficiency. Mm-hmm. What that really means long term is that quantum dot solar is the technology that could deliver a renewable energy source that can compete with natural gas. So I mean, it would really levelize the playing field without any subsidies in this area. So we're pretty excited about that as a potential application. And the driver for that, from our perspective, is that you can't make a gigawatt of solar cells unless you can produce a lot of quantum dots and do so at a really a compelling price, so that you can put together a solar cell that really comes to market at a big shift over what it's been able to be in the past.
So let me try and connect the dots here on this. Are you are you saying, and no pun intended, but are you saying that through this technology we might eventually, potentially in the near term, be able to fly jets on solar or non-petrol products?
I think I don't know that I could go as far as to say commercial airliners, but certainly aircraft could be powered by this.
That's a major breakthrough. I mean, if anybody's trying to reduce the carbon footprint, this is definitely the way to get there. Am I right on that path, or
no? You're absolutely right. I mean, this is we believe that the pricing change in solar using quantum dots is going to be really a disruptive technology.
Huge. Where are you in regards to market share, first to market, those natural questions that any investor wants to know about this?
Sure. This is really an emerging market. In the world right now, there's probably 4 companies that are really the leaders in this space, and it's it's not an easy space to compete in because it's already quite burdened with a lot of intellectual property. There's a high barrier to entry, so to speak. And we're the ones that have really focused on being able to produce high volume, again, low cost, and we have developed what we call a continuous flow process.
I want to hear more about this continuous flow process, how you're able to get away from the competition and do this.
Yeah, we've all been at this about 10 years, and our competitors really focused on developing devices that use quantum dots. I think we focused on being able to scale the production of quantum dots. And so we reached out to a technology that was emerging primarily in the pharmaceutical industry, where they also needed to have very small reactions that they can control, but still be able to go to scale. And so, that was exactly what our chemistry required, was a process where we could have very tight control, have very small reactions, but do reactions continuously in flow. So that's what they call this flow technology.
All right, we're gonna need to go to a break right now, but on the other side of the break, if we could, Stephen, what I'd like to do is come back with you and talk about the business side of your company, and if we could open up some of these great products that you have to market. Okay?
Certainly, thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll be right back with Stephen Squires, CEO, founder, and board chair, Quantum Materials Corp. Symbol on this company is QTMM, and web address qmcdots.com. Special thanks to 1-800-publicrelations.com for all their PR media support. We'll be right back.
From the North Texas Traffic Center, still seeing one accident in Fort Worth. 35W heading northbound just before Seminary Drive has that left lane blocked off. This seeing a heavy delay right now from around 20. Road construction still remaining in Grand Prairie. Right lane closed off 30 westbound near MacArthur Boulevard. We are seeing this traffic delay from Cockle Hill Road. Right now you're going to see a 10-minute delay there. Good news, 635 heading westbound just before Marsh Lane. That accident has cleared. I'm Heather Anderson with your KFXR traffic.
At Service King, our highly trained specialists use super state-of-the-art technology, and their uncanny ability to remove all evidence a wreck ever occurred makes some wonder if they're actually robots. Which, of course, most of them aren't.
Service King Collision Repair.
Hey Dallas, where do you go to hear the edgiest uncensored talk and cutting-edge local music? DeepElmOnAir.com. Whether you're looking for a good laugh, honest sports commentary, or DFW's best bands, DeepElmOnAir.com has got you covered. Deep Ellum on Air is located in the heart of Deep Ellum, where you can find the best local music, local businesses, and local people. This ain't your grandpa's radio. Heck, it ain't even radio. It's Deep Ellum on Air. Check them out at DeepElmOnAir.com today.
Emmanuel Dalavai is a dynamic business coach, motivational, and public speaking professional. He has worked with numerous Fortune 100 firms and is a highly sought-after business resource. If you're looking for someone to MC your organization's special event, seeking a motivational speaker for a graduation ceremony, or just in need of inspired thought leadership, Emmanuel is your guy. Emmanuel is also the DFW Career Doctor, and if you're seeking employment change, he can provide individual and group consultation for resume writing, interviewing, and other career helps. Contact Emmanuel today by email, help@dfwcareerdoctor.com, or by calling 214-552-7932. It's not your daddy's farm anymore. There's no doubt technology has changed the way we grow bigger crops, feed our livestock, and also access market information. With the new Yorba Market Center, today's farmers and ranchers are embracing new technology through smartphones, tablets, and the internet to give their business an edge. The Yorba Market Center gives you real-time quote access, news, and weather at a low monthly rate to help you stay better informed. Visit us today for a free trial at yorbamedia.com or call 214-504-9470.
From the Mini Cooper Weather Center, today partly cloudy and hot, high of 93. Tonight fair skies, low of 75. This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. Broadcasting to you live from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM iHeart radio studios and broadcasting worldwide through yorbamedia.com. All right, on the show with me now is Stephen Squires, CEO, founder, and board chairman of Quantum Materials Corp. QMCDOTS.com, and the symbol is QTMM. You're going to want to look this one up. All right, Stephen, last when we left off, we're talking about just touching on the ramifications of what your company does. And for really, I mean, honestly, if you stop, you slow down, you think about this, it's taking the carbon footprint reduction process and effort to a whole new level and increasing efficiency in a broad array of industry sectors. You're not just in a narrow niche thing. I'm struggling for the words, but you're pervasive. I mean, this technology that you have, the product mix that you have, it touches everybody's life in almost every fashion, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does, and we're quite excited to be in this space. And at the same time, as long as we've been at it, there's still applications emerging that even go beyond what our imagination was. So it's an interesting material. It's a great time to be in nanotechnology. We certainly think that the solar aspect could be a real game changer for the way people are used to getting their energy in a much cleaner, renewable way. We also see that integrating these quantum dots actually into the LED bulb, could reduce, what we believe will reduce the cost of the LED bulb, and so it will make those much more, expand the use of those to a much more broader range of applications as well.
Give me an idea of the cost reduction that you're talking about there.
Well, on the solar side, it's our target to reduce the cost of solar another 50% from where it is today.
Whoa.
And we think that is achievable. What's really nice about it is that, as we continue to develop the technology, it's only going to get more and more efficient, so that we should see a gradual reduction even after the introductory pricing in solar using quantum dots. So it's pretty exciting.
A 50% reduction in cost in the companies that produce solar products, lighting products. That did I get the correct leap there with the lighting products also?
Yeah, that's what our target is.
Do you know what that's going to do to their bottom line?
Well, we're more interested in what it does for the consumer. So.
Well, yeah. So the consumers also. I mean, everybody. That's a big market. But I mean, I would think that you would have a lot of people who have those product lines would be all over this company, all over you. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. And then the nice thing is our solar cell can actually be integrated into the solar modules that are being made today. So. It's not a retooling effort. So, the solar module manufacturers can embrace this technology pretty easily.
NASA would be all over this. I just couldn't see because this has ramifications that are beyond just consumers. I mean, you've got all kinds of space travel that could use this. That would just be. I mean, it would make commercial space travel far more affordable just on this alone. I mean, that's a huge reduction in cost because there's a lot of things that go into it. I'm running on and on and on. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We all get excited.
I am. I'm just the medical applications. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, there's so many. I mean, we're primarily focusing on in vitro, which are ways to use the quantum dots that don't require them being introduced inside the body. So it's more for analysis and assays. But it certainly expands the breadth of work that can be done in research and development because this really allows a researcher to get down and identify, anomalies at the cellular level that you just couldn't do with the existing materials that are out there.
Now, you also have batteries and energy storage. You've got quantum dot links and then quantum computing. Can you walk us through some of those products?
Sure. Well, on the energy storage side, we're actually working with an advanced nanoparticle rather than a quantum dot. So this is kind of the first generation, and it's for the lithium-ion batteries that are already in production. They can introduce this nanoparticle, and what we're seeing in the early results is that it reduces the amount of time that it takes to recharge the battery, and it also extends the life. So we think there's a great deal of promise in being able to integrate these materials into the current generation of energy storage. Longer term, there's quite a bit of work being done where they're using quantum dots in fuel cells that actually make them much more efficient, and where you can actually have your fuel cell powered by solar so that you're using solar energy to separate the hydrogen from the oxygen.
Are you kidding me? Let me stop you right there for a second. Just because you'd mentioned the consumers, what it does for the consumers. Are you telling me my cell phone could eventually be, and my tablet, my computer, whatever, could eventually be solar powered? I don't have to plug this thing in anymore?
Yeah, it could be solar powered and be quite efficient because, as you increase the conversion efficiency, you can use a smaller and smaller cell size. So then it starts to lend itself to a lot of other applications that, just the geometries don't make sense right now.
All right, let's talk about, because you'd mentioned reduction in time to charge the battery and extending the life of the charge. Give me some numbers on that.
Yeah, right now the numbers look like it's going to extend the battery life between 20 and 40%. And it would reduce the charge time by about 20%.
That's sufficient because everybody pulls the cord on those things, and they go like, "Oh God!" I mean, that's the biggest complaint you have on, say, your iPhone. The battery doesn't work long enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, what we're really seeing is that it takes more than one technology leap to make big differences. So, in a mobile device, if you're using quantum dots for your display or to enhance the color and the contrast, you're able to use less electricity to be able to drive that. And then if you also put the quantum dots or nanoparticles into the battery, you're going to get better battery performance. And integrating these two technologies together can really make a remarkable improvement in the quality of the product.
Tesla would be all over this with you.
Well, we certainly think they should be.
Wow. What are quantum dot links?
Well, I think that what you're referring to is quantum dot inks.
Inks. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that's okay. And so what we do with the quantum dots is, and this part of this is based on the technology from Virginia Tech, where we're actually doing 3D printing, integrating quantum dots into the ink, and it makes a non-clonable service mark. So this is something that can be used in the next generation of currency to keep people from counterfeiting pharmaceuticals, right down to making computer chips not clonable. So unfortunately, there's just a lot of products that are being counterfeited right now, and some of them are critical, like pharmaceuticals. And this is a really inexpensive way to be able to have a mark on things that is virtually impossible for counterfeiters to copy. So we think that allows a lot of manufacturers to be able to kind of take back their product and take a lot of the counterfeit products out of the market. But there's a lot of other applications for quantum dot inks as well, and next generation of flexible displays. So a lot more of the wearables that we would have will be printed using quantum dot inks, and the quantum dots will be what illuminates in those displays.
We've got about a minute left. Quantum computing. How does all this work?
Well, this is a bit farther out there, but it is being done in universities right now. And there was recently some research published from a university in Australia where they're using the quantum dots as the switch, or I think in that area they call it the qubit. And so they're actually using it to turn on and off to generate the data exchange in a computer. And what they've been able to achieve with the quantum dots is an improvement in the speed that's done by about 300. So as this continues to develop and they get the reliability and repeatability up, as this gets integrated into a computer, we're going to see a huge shift in the amount of data that can be handled by our everyday computers. And they're talking about, they believe that they'll be able to bring a 200 to 300% increase in the speed.
Wow. Stephen, we're at the end of our interview. I've just been amazed. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you so much. I always appreciate the opportunity to tell the story.
My pleasure. Stephen Squires, CEO, founder, and board chairman, Quantum Materials. Symbol on this company, QTMM. Special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-PublicRelations.com for all their PR media support. QMCdots.com. We'll be right back on the other side of this break with Jordan Frischfeld.